Right, good morning. I bought a new bit of kit. I've got some metal to chop up. I'm gonna make some new gate for the front of the driveway, and I've got a load of steel left over from when I used to build car transporters. So I thought I'd buy a tool that I've never had before, because yesterday I went through at least 10 cutting discs just cutting up junk bits of steel. So I've ordered myself a plasma cutter. Never owned one, never used one, and it's just arrived from Amazon, and it's the cheapest one they do. Now I've read the reviews on it. Couple of them are quite good. One bloke gave it a poorish review because he didn't realise he needed a compressor to run it. Well, you'd think you'd do your research first, wouldn't you? But it doesn't look too bad. So let's open the box, see what we've got. Now, it wasn't very expensive. It was about £92. And I'm not expecting it to do great things. It's a Sprig Holly, and it's well packed up in plenty of boxes. You think really I could have just sent it out in that box, wouldn't you? You don't really need to put another box around it. A bit of Amazon tape would have done just fine. But never mind, might as well use up all the trees for cardboard boxes. So, let's see what we've got in here. Now bear in mind, as I said, I've got no previous experience of these at all. So this is going to be a learning curve for me. And it looks like it's quite well jammed in there. It's coming. Lots of cables. Lots of bits. Get the cardboard box out of the way so I don't fall over it. Never throw it away until you've used it for a few days, because if it turns out to be junk, you can send it back. Right, so what have we got? We have what looks like a torch. We have some instructions and a bit of PTFE tape and a couple of Jubilee clips. And we have the main unit itself. Yeah, it's not very big, it's tiny in actual fact, a bit smaller than I was expecting. Now I'm only going to be cutting maximum 2-3 mil steel, might possibly do a bit of 15 mil, the odd bit of 5 mil, but nothing thicker than that. Now this is supposed to cut up to I think 15-16 mil. But I'm not expecting it to. Okay, so we've got the main unit. We'll have to have a look at the instructions, see what it says. It's not very big, it's not very heavy. We have quite a long earth lead, and we have a reasonable length power lead by the look of it. I'm going to keep every single bit just in case I decide to send it back. I'm not intending to send it back, but if it turns out to be useless, then obviously I will. Going to leave the labels on. So we have an earth lead. Looks okay, good spring on it. Got an earth on both sides of it. That's quite good. Most places, most machines, you get only terminate on one side, but this has got proper earth strap to make sure it works. So, let's have a look at the instructions, see what they say. Now I have read that the instructions aren't very good, but we'll get them out and see what they actually say. So, a bit of PTFE tape for something. Couple of Jubilee clips, and we might as well unpack this as well. obviously the main cutting lead, and these are a couple of spare shields for it. Don't seem like you get an awful lot. I wonder if you can get the spares for it if you need them. So we've got a main power, main lead, which is quite a decent length. It's a good, must be about 3 meters. That's a good length of lead, so that looks okay. I'll hold that back up for a moment. Right, I've had a quick look through the instructions, and as people have said, they're basically useless. First thing I've discovered is it's got the wrong connector for my airline. I need this type. So I'm going to take this one out. And they give you a handy bit of PTFE tape. So I can, oh, it actually feels like it's quite a bit on that roll as well. It's very thin, but it will do. So we'll put a bit of PTFE tape around the thread of my new connector. And we'll pop that in there. Now this whole bracket assembly is quite flimsy, so I'm just going to nip it up, not going to over tighten it. That should do. And then at the front there's a connector here, which is this one, which I presume is the air feed. So I'm going to PTFE that one as well. Bring this out over the edge of the bench so it's easier. Put 5 or 6 turns of PT, see how that does. So this big one screws on here, and it's got a plastic like nut on it, so you can't do it up that tight. I just do it up by hand and we'll see what happens. This little plug got a cutout which is at the bottom, so that goes on there, screws on. It's quite fiddly because there's not a lot of room to get your hand into it. Little bit on the fiddly side to get to. It's not a lot of room to get your fingers in there to do it, especially if you've got fat fingers like me. But that's it, screwed on. And then make sure that's fully down. That's it. And then this one, although it's black, goes to the red one on there. So you unscrew that, pop that behind underneath the washer, and do that up. And then the earth lead goes in this one here, and this has got, I think, like a twist thing on it. Yeah, so it goes in and then twists to lock. So that's the torch connected, and that's the earth connected. Don't know what these 2 Jubilee clips are for. got my airline on, and I've got my plug. So that's basically all it connected. Didn't take too long. Just got 2 Jubilee clips left. We don't know what they're for. I think what we're going to do is plug it in and see if it switches on. That'll be a start. So we'll plug it in, put it on. How do you turn it on? Is there a switch? Yes, there is. On the back here, turn it round, there's a switch there. So pop that on, and that's it. It's working. And then you dial up your power. It says it wants 50 to 75 psi on there, and I presume that's your amperage. Goes up to 50. Well, flicks between 49 and 50. So we'll bring it back down, say about 25 amps. Now there are something on the instructions here. It really doesn't tell you about the settings or anything else. It tells you how to use it, keep it straight and flat. This is a Pilot Arc one, it's not a Touch Arc. Well, I did see something about the amperage settings somewhere, but I can't find it now. Edge cutting, pierce cutting. Yeah, that's your current display, tells you that. And it says speed and amperage, but it doesn't really tell you that much about what to do. So you've got to play with it, I suppose. Now it does say wear a mask and obviously wear a helmet, and it says in tiny little letters with a shade 10 lens. So the problem I've got is my mask, my breathing mask, won't fit underneath my welding shield. So just turn it back off for a sec. Oh, that's good. You turn it off. Oh, it does turn off eventually. The fan runs for a second or two. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it outside, set it up to the airline, and see if it works. Let's go. Right, I've set up a bit of steel box section in the workbench. I've put the earth lead on. I've connected my airline and I've set the air pressure to 50 psi as they want. And now we're going to give it a try. I'm going to get some gloves. Put my welding mask on, set to number 10 like they say. So let's see what happens. Oh, better turn it on first, that'll help. Wow, not very tidy, but it's cut straight through. bit messy, but that's my first ever cut, so we'll see. Turn it round. Struggling with this set on number 10, I think because it's outside I'm struggling to see, so I'm going to turn it down slightly. Because it's in daylight it's very hard to see the flame. I'm not very good at straight cut, but at least it's cutting it very well. Okay, one thing I've discovered is if you lift it too high off the metal, then it cuts out. But it's actually, I made a mess of it, but it's cutting very well. And that's it. It's not very flat. Hang on, let's get it. Yes, it's all over the place, my cut, but the tool actually works. That's, I think, 3mm steel. It's messy, but I have cut it. That's probably my best cut, that one there. The rest are all over the place. But it needs a bit more practice to try and get it straight and try and get the cuts right. Outside, might be better indoors. Outside in the sunlight, I can't actually see where I'm cutting. But the tool works, it cuts okay. Could probably do with the amperage turning up a little bit for this thickness of metal. I might just try whacking it up to 35 amps and see how it cuts. 35 amps, see how it cuts there. seem to cut better on 35 amps. The big problem is me. I can't see what I'm doing because I'm out in the sunlight and I'm not very good at doing a straight line, but that all takes practice. Just try this bit. Wow, that's much better on 35 amps. Cuts that thickness much better. I'm getting a bit straight, I'm wobbly as hell, but yeah, it's going to take a bit of time messing about to work out what current you need and what air pressure you need and whatever. It's just experiment, but as a tool it seems to work fine. Cuts straight through that thick metal with no problem whatsoever. Obviously you can put a straight edge on and run the torch along the straight edge so that you get a nice neat cut. Might try that in a minute. I've got a piece of old door skin here and I've clamped a piece of metal to it so I can try and get a straight edge. I've turned the amperage back down to 25 amps, and I'm going to try this bit and see what happens if I try and do it. Now this is painted metal, so I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll try it, we'll see. Now there is a trigger guard on here, so every time you use it you have to push the trigger guard out of the way to get to the trigger behind it. That's it, straight through. And I've got a bit of a straighter edge. I think it actually wants turning down a little bit. I think it might be a bit vicious. I'll try another cut and I'll turn it. Right, taking it down to 20 amps and I'm going to try and do it again. Yep. Okay, so I'm getting better. And that's painted metal and that's cutting that absolutely fine. Once again, I'm still need a lot of practice to get it straight. I'm not sure. I'm getting a bit of splurging on it. I might try getting the speed right as well. It's all practice, you just got to keep practicing at it. missed a couple of bits in the middle. My speed wasn't consistent. Yep, that's it. Up the end bit. There we go. So, it's not too bad. I think I need to practice a lot more, but the tool works, does what it's meant to do. It cuts metal, it cuts, this is about 16 gauge, I suppose, maybe a bit thinner, 18 gauge, and then it cut that 3mm pipe that I had, which is full of rust. So it cuts through paint, cuts through rust. Yeah, it seems okay. Quite happy with it. It does the job I wanted it to do. So I don't know that much about them, so I can't say how it works compared to a £500 one, but it does work. It does cut metal. It's quite quick, and I just need to practice a lot more with it. So for £90, yeah, it's probably a good little tool. Does the job I wanted it to. So that's it. It's the Sprig Holly Cut 50L. So it was about £92–93 off Amazon. It worked for what I want it to do. At some point I might try building a CNC table to have a proper go with it, but I've got to practice a lot more and mess about with the setup and all the rest of it. But it does the job. It cuts metal, which is what it's meant to do. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy with it. For the money, it works. What more could you ask for? We'll keep trying it and see what happens with it. It does say on here it'll cut 16mm. I think it might struggle with that. And it says 75 psi. I've got it a bit low, so it might be better if I turn the air pressure up a little bit more. But as far as it goes, it does the job. Thanks very much for watching. Now I've got to clear all this mess up.